Welcome to Lucky Creations, where I feature my fabulous crafty life. Hey friends, it's Lucky Creations back with another video, and this time I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a while, a scrapbooking layout. So it's been quite some time since I scrapbooked. There were significant life events happening last year that just took precedence. And I really honestly was not in the mood to scrapbook. I lost my father last year, so this video is a tribute to him. It's taken me quite some time to get back into scrapbooking. You've seen me do a lot of journaling and other crafts, but this one is one that's near and dear to me. So it's going to be a little bit longer than normal. I have actually had to speed it up a little bit and do a voiceover just to get you guys through it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a scrapbook layout. Scrapbooking is my first love, my first passion. I know I've gotten away from it for a while, but again, I had life events happening. Plus, I had to find a way to store some of these supplies and scrapbooks that I had. So during the pandemic back in 2020 through about 2022, I must have done probably about 200 to 300 scrapbook pages. I'm not even kidding you. I filled up about 4 or 5 big, large books full of scrapbook pages, maybe even more. So storing them, and I've been a scrapbooker for many years, several decades. I just ran out of space to store it all. Plus, with the loss of my father and dealing with, his illness leading up into his death, I just really was not in the mood to memory keep. So you kind of saw me transition away a little bit from scrapbooking into my journaling, but I just wanted to come back with you and share. I am still very much so in love with scrapbooking, and I think I'm in a place through my grieving process where I can start to look at some of those memories again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing a scrapbook video. Scrapbooking has kind of taken a little bit of a hit over the last few weeks. So I want to say that, yeah, I'm still very much so a scrapbooker. I love it, and I'm dedicated to my craft. So yeah. So all these pictures are pictures just from the last, I'd say, year, which aren't even all of them. I haven't even printed them all out. So I have so many pictures that I have to go ahead and memory keep. So I just need to get back into doing some of my memory keeping. My journaling is a form of memory keeping and journaling for me in writing the storytelling aspect, but I do got to get back into getting my pictures as well. So that's what I'm going to do today. So today I wanted to do a spring type layout because it's the first day of spring, but I think I'm going to hold off on that. So just to show you kind of how I've been storing my scrapbook and my photos, how I kind of am doing a hybrid of photo album and scrapbook. This is just one of the albums that I bought last year, and I started this one last year because I don't want all big 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, but I don't want all photos either. So my album is a combination of photographs, which have the 6 by 4 and cut down, as well as I have these half sheets, 6 by 12 sheets that I can put photos, as well as my 12 by 12 classic size scrapbook layout. So I like this style because I can insert all of these different sheets, and that way if I want to do a layout that's a 12 by 12, I can do that. Or if I don't want to utilize that whole 12 by 12 space, I can cut it in half and have a half page, or I can just have my 4 by 6 photos, or I could print two, 2 by 3, or whatever size of half of the 4 by 6 would be. Yeah, 2 by 3. I think that's the right size. So anyway, I have a combination, a variety of sizes. So I was looking at some of the pictures that I wanted to scrapbook today. By it being the first day of spring, I've had some of these in my bunny rabbit, but ultimately, since this is my first time scrapbooking since I lost my father, I wanted to do a tribute to him. So I have this photograph. This was our last Thanksgiving that we were able to spend together. So I wanted to photograph or I wanted to scrapbook this photograph of my father, my daughter, and myself on our last Thanksgiving that we had together. So I found this paper, which is paper that I got from this stack that I've had for a while. Very pretty. I love this wood grain pattern on that paper. And I see this quote here that says love, that has these mountains on it. So I decided that I'm going to cut that out because I want to use that on my page as well in some form. So I'm just cutting those out, and I'm going to try to find some paper now. Because of the colors that are in our outfits, I know I want to bring in a little bit more of that orange, but I also want to bring in that blue. And so I have this book, which has the green, which is my father's favorite color, which I absolutely love. But it does not match these photographs. But I do have some leftover ephemera from another kit that I had, American Crafts, I believe this is, that would go really, really well with the colors in my photo. So even though I love this stack, I'll save it for another project, but I love those leaves and the color scheme on this one. Very pretty. So anyway, I'll do something with that later. So for now, I'm going through and just seeing if I can find another sheet that complements this page with the wood grains, but I didn't really see anything with the blues in that stack. So I'm going to go ahead and I have this stack. This is probably the last one that I bought. I bought this one around October time frame, even though I hadn't used it, to be a cruise type of, do some cruise scrapbook pages, but I haven't used it. But oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. There's some beautiful pages in here. So I was just looking at some of the things that I bought. I'm like, oh, I fell in love with these florals. So those will definitely be used in another project coming up soon. But okay, let me focus. So I found some sheets of blue that I want to use in my page. And I like this particular paper that I'm cutting now because it has like a faux stitching effect in the two different tones of blue. So I'm going to use that. I'm just going to trim that down a little bit more so that, you know, that stitching detail still shows, but I have it a little bit more cohesive. So I'm just going to do a basic page. This isn't not going to be a mixed media heavy. I'm going to do some paper layering, some photo matting. I'll do a little bit at the end of just adding in a little bit, a few speckles, but this is basic scrapbooking. I'm not going to go too technically heavy here just because I got to get back into scrapbooking, right? I don't want this to be stressful. I don't want to fuss over it. I just need to get back into scrapbooking. So sometimes you just got to get something kind of simple out just to scratch that itch. So that's what this is. This is very basic scrapbooking right now. Okay, so I'm going to trim down my photo a little bit because I like this piece of ephemera that looks almost like a photo frame, but I do want to back that in just a little bit of color. There's a little bit of yellow, and I am going to bring out some more yellow here a little bit later just to kind of give another variation of color to this page. But for now, I'm going to use this muted yellow paper. This is a little bit heavier cardstock just to be the first layer of my photo mat. That complements really well with the wood grains in my base page, as well as the color scheme that's in our photo. We don't have really a lot of yellow in the photo, but the beiges, it complements those well. So I'm using this Frisker's edge ruler just to distress my edges. I really, really like that. That's one of my favorite little tools. I've been using that one pretty heavily in my journal and in my scrapbooking. So I'm going to use that just to distress the edges of that first layer of that photo mat. And I'm going to layer that down on the floral piece of ephemera. I do want to rough up the edges and distress corners a little bit with ink. So you'll see me here momentarily doing that, but I'm just trying to kind of figure out how I want to lay this out. And I do know that I want to just distress those edges just to show a little bit of that white under my first layer. So you see me with my scissors just distressing that paper. And I'm just trying to arrange things how in a basic shape. I really, really love this quote that says, Never stop looking up. And the fact that this is a tribute to my late father, I thought that quote was just, it is so befitting in so many ways, because not only am I looking up to the heavens to pay tribute and honor to my father as well as my deceased mother, but I are just also know that my parents are just telling me to never stop looking up, to keep going. So yeah, this is very, very special to me. So that quote will definitely go on this page. Okay, so I I usually use my tape runner, but as you can see, my tape runner broke, so I need to order another one of those. And that one was a Scotch, so don't know if I'll get that one again, but I do need to order another one. So for now, I'm just using this glue stick. I've been using this Elmer's glue stick, and it's been working pretty well. So I haven't had any problems with that in my journal, so I figure I can use it on my scrapbook as well. Okay, so now I'm going to glue down the second layer of my page. And I like the way that that looks. I really, really like it with that torn edge a lot. So now I'm just trying to decide where I want to place my photo. I really love this piece of ephemera that says love, but it was a little bit too big. So I just taken out a little small piece that has the mountain showing. And honestly, you won't even see that by the time I'm done. So it doesn't really even matter that I even used it, but it's there. It's there to be a layer. Okay, so I decided that with my quote, I like that, but I feel like I need another little pop of color behind my photo mat. So I'm going into my little paper scraps bin, and I see this orange, which is a little bit vibrant. It's more kind of vibrant like the color that's in my dress. So, but I just want a little small peek of that peeking out behind my picture. So I'm just going to grab one sheet of that, and I'm not going to bother to try to save any of this because I need to get rid of some of this stuff that I'm hoarding. So I'm just going to use the whole page, but just only glue down the corner of my photo mat, the top corner. And now I'm going to distress that a little bit more, just again to give it a little bit of texture, because this is a scrapbook page. So I want to see that three-dimensional look in the roughed up distress. That's what I love so much about doing scrapbooking, as well as like even junk journaling. I love the layer and the tattered and the distressed look of it. It just looks so aesthetically pleasing. So anyway, I'm going to rough that up. And now I decided to pop that photo mat up on some foam adhesive. So I'm popping that up, and I'm going to glue in, and I couldn't find my normal glue that I use. So I'm just kind of using my glue bottle there. Took the lid off and just use that to give a generous amount of glue behind that so that I can make sure that that photo mat is adhered nicely, and it is. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm deciding that I want to cut down the size of my quote. I really do love that quote, never stop looking up, but it's a little large. So I decide that I want to make that into a tag. So you see me cutting that down, and I'm going to cut the corners and then punch a hole in the middle to make it a tag. So now that serves the purpose of being my title as well as being a tag. So next I'm going to go find some twine. I'm going into my bin of ephemera. Oh, and I saw these bows that I've been holding on to, which have that craft look. So I'm going to pull those aside because I think I'll use one of those on my layout as well. And I found this twine that is also in that tannish craft color and white. That would go good to be some thread on my tag. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my tag. And now I have made that title into a tag for my page. Okay, so next I'm just going through my bin looking at what other type of ephemera I have. And I did decide that I wanted to just distress the edges of that tag. So I'm just grabbing some black ink with a little dauber, and I'm just inking up the corners of that just to further distress that title tag. And I like that, and I think it would go nicely right in that corner. So I'm just going to prop it up on a little bit of foam and that will be ready to go. I really, really like that quote. I found these flowers that I've had for some time, as well as these little tags that were in the ephemera kit. So I'm going to go ahead and distress those little flags, I guess you call those, and put them on the corner. I like them because they have the colors, again, that are in my pictures, as well as the cute little tags. I like this little clock radio, and I couldn't figure out where I wanted to put it. It's kind of an old-fashioned radio, which does remind me of my father because he loved to have his old radio on A and M station. So I am going to use that, but I'm not going to keep it on that corner. I'll move it here momentarily. So I'm just grabbing another one of these little flags that are in the corresponding colors of my layout. I'm going to prop that up on foam, and I will adhere that on my page below where I put the first flag. Now, these flowers that I found are very, very special to me. I've had these for years, and when I bought them, I did not know really where I wanted to put them or how I wanted to use them, but I'm so very glad I saved them. So right now, I'm just adding some more ephemera, those little dragonflies, I guess they are, or moths. Ephemera, those are really nice, and they're in the colors that match. So I'm adding 2 of those on my page, just again roughing up the edges to give it a more distressed look. And I'm going to add those on my page as well. I'm trying to add in some masculine effects to this page, to make sure that, it honors my father. So I'm grabbing some things that he was a, country boy who liked bugs and his little old-fashioned clock radio. So I'm trying to add in elements that speak to him as well. The mountains, the beautiful countryside. So those things are very, very special to me. Okay, I added in a little tag for some journaling that I'll do later. So just always want to have an element of journal. I'm going to add that little piece of floral twig in at the blue at the top. Now I'm going to pull these stickers out, and these are gorgeous. Look at that butterfly. These are paper stickers, again, that I think I probably got from Michael's years ago. But again, I just held on to them, and they are perfect for this page. Just perfect. They don't need any distressing or anything. So I'm going to add those, and then I'm going to add that little craft color bow because it just fits in perfectly. And I am loving the way that this looks. This looks so nice, and I am just so happy that I am able to pay tribute to my father with this beautiful page. So I'm going to go ahead and prop each one of the florals as well as the butterfly and the little bow up on foam tape and adhere those to my page. Really, really happy about the way this page turned out. I had no rhyme or reason of what I was going to do, but I think I have honored my father nicely with this beautiful page. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything down. I decided that I do want the word dad, or I was trying to go see if I wanted to add dad or daddy-o as I called my dad, but I ultimately am going to just go with dad. So I do want to add the words dad, but I also decided that I said no mixed media, but I need some speckles. I need some speckles on here. The speckles are going to give it that final touch. So I'm going in and finding some white acrylic paint, and I haven't used this paint in like over a year, and it kind of shows because this paint was clumpy and terrible. So you see me there doing my best to kind of mix it up, and I just need to get it wet enough and mixed enough so that I could just add a few little white speckles, and you see me doing that, and I like the way that turned out. That just gave it that finishing touch that it needed. In hindsight, I should have just left it like that and let it dry, but I'm trying to dry it as much as I can. Then I was like, well, maybe I'll paper towel dab it up a little bit, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have left it alone. It was pretty like it was, so I kind of mushed it a little bit there, but that's okay. I still like it, so no fuss. So, okay, got the speckles the way I want them to. Now, the final touch is going to be, and yep, I got mixed media finger over my green fingernails, but at least my fingernails are green, my dad's favorite color. Anywho, I've pulled out my Sizzix Vagabond 2 electronic die cutting machine, and I have this font, which is also a Sizzix font, that I'm going to use to punch the word dad. And so I decided that I'm going to do that on this yellow paper, yellow cardstock, just because the yellow is very muted here and I just wanted something to pop. So I've just got that bright yellow, and I was like, it's bright yellow. I know it's not really a dominant color that's on my page, but I think it will blend well with the muted yellow that I put on before. So anyway, I'm just getting some washi tape and I'm going to cut down a piece of that cardstock. And with my very, very well-loved machine. It's funny, I haven't used this machine in so long, so I really forgot that I probably need to order some new mats because they are very warped. But that's okay. A little washi tape will do the trick to hold them down. So, sorry, I'm off camera there. I'm just taping down the dies. And once I get that in place, I am going to put my top layer on, flip it over, and give this baby a whirl through my machine, and then I have the words dad perfectly cut out. I haven't used the machine in a while and I was really happy and excited to use it, so I was happy I at least got a chance to use my die cut machine. I didn't feel like pulling out my Sizzix. I do have a silhouette cameo as well as a silhouette portrait, but I didn't feel like pulling those out, so I just pulled my electronic one out and used some of the dies that I have, using some of my products that I haven't used in a while. So I grabbed my tweezers as well as this little pick, and typically when I glue these letters on, I would use my little clear glue in my precision glue little tubey. But I just was being lazy. I didn't feel like going to find it. And this was a no fuss page. So I just used my glue stick and put a generous amount of that glue stick. Even though it looks purple there, it dries clear. And I just used that. I didn't feel like going to find, because I know that my little clear glue bottle, I haven't used it in so long. So I would have had to get something sharp, a needle or something, and unclog it. And I didn't feel like going through all that. So yeah, I just used glue stick, and that glue stick works fine. So there's the dad. I like that, but then I realized, well, I need a little bit of that yellow on the other side. So here I am just creating a little piece of ephemera by punching some holes in a little bit of that cardstock. I'm going to rip the sides, and I'm just going to slightly slide that under my photo mat. And there I now have that yellow color. So there is my page. Then I decided, oh yeah, this radio, I got to put the radio here somewhere because that's a tribute to my dad. So I just added it as a cluster to that very top and curled up the corner a little bit. And there you have it. There is my page. So I have really, really enjoyed making this page. Again, it's been a long time since I scrapbooked. It's been probably about a year or so. But yeah, I wanted to pay tribute to my father. So thank you so much for watching. Here are some photos. Please comment. Please like and think about subscribing. And I'll catch you later on the next video from Lockie Creations. Be blessed.